Before I start this video, I just want to say that there is timestamps in the description, as well as underneath the video in that little, the timeline bar when the video starts playing. So if you want to skip to a certain point to hear a specific announcement, which I will have titled, I have certain announcements that I think is really important to mention for people on this channel. And then I also have some announcements that are just kind of like a little bit of a backstory about what I'm doing right now and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing with the channel right now. But there is some changes happening to the channel that I hope you'll check out. It is in the timeline if you want to skip forward to it. I hope you watch the entire video, but I just want to say that there is certain parts of this video that is very important to listen to. So I'm doing a small video here just to kind of do a announcement, since I haven't done one of these in a while. I think it's been quite a long time since we've done any type of announcement on this channel. Not that a channel needs announcements, because usually you would need something to announce, but I do actually today have something to say. So a little while back, I sort of went in a different direction with the channel. As you've probably noticed, there hasn't been much web dev type tutorials coming up in the channel for the past, I actually don't know how long. I've gone more in a game dev direction, which is, teaching game dev type things. And I've also included some gameplays on the channel where I would give like sort of feedback on people's indie games. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Like, I taught myself how to start making games, I think back in 2016? I think it was 16. And things were a little bit different back then because I don't know if people know this, but I actually had my bachelor's degree in web dev. And I also have a multimedia design degree, as well as a marketing management degree that I got back in the day that I didn't want to use for anything. It's one of those things where you started an education and you just like kind of finished it, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I just had to like pick something. So I skipped from marketing over to multimedia and then into web dev later on in life. What I'm really trying to say is that it has been many years ago since I studied web dev type things and multimedia design. And I kind of started up this channel with multimedia design and web dev type tutorials. Like, I would start teaching HTML, and then I would start going into JavaScript and PHP, and I would just sort of like build up an audience around that. I finished my education. I also got a job as a multimedia designer inside a company, inside the marketing department, where I would do all sorts of things like the website and videos for the company, and just like I was an all types of person. And during that time when that particular contract ended and I had to figure out what to do with my life back then, my wife decided to push me in the direction of this channel here and try to make YouTube into something I could actually do for a living. So we actually moved into a camper later in life, which is what I'm sitting in right now. I'm actually sitting in our old camper. This is like, I repainted it, but I basically remodeled the old camper that we used to live in, which, was the thing we did. We became homeless for a while, so I could build on my channel, which was a sacrifice that she also made, so I could actually do that. And during that time, I never really did anything web dev related. Like, I didn't have a job with web dev. I didn't have any studies related to web dev. I just kind of like had to figure out what to do next. And I started studying game dev. It happens to everyone, you just kind of like have an interest at some point in your life, and then you start moving on to something else because now you've done this for a long time. So now you want to do this thing over here for the next many years. And this is around the same period where I kind of had a burnout with the channel, because I was still teaching web dev things on the channel, but I had no passion for it anymore. It was something I did a long time ago, and I was no longer doing it in my everyday life. Everything that I wanted to do had shifted over to wanting to do something with game dev. And I couldn't teach it. At least I felt like I couldn't teach it on the channel because the channel was built up around web dev things. So while I was burned out during that period, and you can probably tell my channel, like there's been like months between uploads during that time, I had to figure out what to do with the channel. And the decision that I came to was I wanted to rebrand the channel into something else. And I don't know if people realize this, but when you have a YouTube channel, it kind of builds up SEO over a period of time. SEO is search engine optimization, for people who don't know. And essentially it means that if you go into YouTube and you search for PHP tutorials, then I'm probably one of the first people to pop up. But also if you go into YouTube and search for Unity tutorials, I'm not the first person to pop up. I'm probably like further down the list somewhere, because my channel has yet to build up SEO around Unity. It's one of those moments where you have to decide, what do you want to do? If I want to change the direction of what I want to do on YouTube, do I want to build a new channel? Do I want to rebrand the existing channel? And research actually shows that if you want to not just create new content for the channel, but you actually want to take the channel in a new direction, then it's much better to rebrand than it is to start a new channel. I don't want to just be the web guy on YouTube. I actually want to be the guy that teaches multimedia. I teach all sorts of things, like if it's Premiere or Photoshop, or if it's game development or web development. I want to be the guy that does a little bit of everything. But that's currently not how my channel has been built up with the SEO. Like back in the day, the web dev things were the things that became popular, so I just kept doing web dev stuff for the channel, even though it's just one aspect of what I actually have done throughout my life. The channel kind of got built up into a corner where if I did anything besides web dev, it wouldn't get any views, it wouldn't get any attention. I wanted to do other things besides web dev. And people kept telling me, because I would say it on updates that I wanted to do other things, but I was too scared to do it. And people would keep saying, well, Daniel, why don't you just build a second channel? And you can like teach that stuff on the other channel and then teach web dev over here. But it wasn't about me wanting to do other things besides web dev things. I actually just wanted to shift the channel direction towards multimedia rather than just web dev. So I wanted to do something completely different with the channel. I wanted to re-SEO the channel, so to speak, into being like this multimedia channel instead of just like web dev things. And it's just one of those things that takes time. Like my channel will at some point have Unity tutorials built up as a SEO thing. And it's a direction that I'm going to keep pursuing, because I definitely want this channel to be known as something different than what it is currently known as. Like I still keep getting people who watch my web dev things, which I'm grateful for, because I spend a lot of time and effort building those tutorials and they are on my channel. So, you know, people watching it is something I really appreciate. But I also hope that game dev can become a thing. I want to be established as a game dev person too. And then maybe at some point I might return back to web dev things. You know, like I said, I'm not saying I don't want to teach web dev any longer, but I want to be established as something else than just a web dev guy. With that said, I have also done a lot of trial and error with this channel here. I started teaching C#, I started teaching Unity tutorials, and just kind of like tried different things like gameplay videos where I would do like feedback type gameplay where I would play people's indie games, give feedback on it even if they didn't want me to. You know, just kind of like pick random indie games off of itch.io and I would try them out and just kind of like give my opinion on them. So what I've decided to do is I want to take the tutorials, like the web dev things, the game dev tutorials, you know, like Unity and all the other multimedia things that I do, and I want to keep that on one channel. So I'm going to keep that on this Dani Krossing channel, but the gameplay stuff, you know, like the feedback indie game videos that I've been making, I'm going to take those and instead they're going to be on another channel. So they're going to be on a channel that I've actually been having for many years, but I've just kind of like casually been doing some stuff on it on the side. It's been a very casual channel. Like I didn't expect it to turn into anything. I just kind of had it for fun, to like upload different gaming content. As things are right now, I would actually much rather split apart the gameplay and remove it from this channel and have them on that other channel instead. So if you want to watch the gameplays and you want to see me play indie horror games and AAA titles and that type of thing, then I will have a separate channel that I've linked in the description, as well as on my channel page, that you can go into and just kind of check out and follow and ring the notification bell so you can actually see when I upload things. And just kind of check that out if you want to see gameplay content. This channel here is going to remain just strictly tutorials for now. So it's just going to be Unity, it's going to be web dev things, it's going to be Photoshop things, Premiere, 3D modeling, or different things that I might be doing. So just to kind of get like a clear direction on each channel, I think is a really good idea. With that said, I do want to take this time here to kind of promote my wife's content, because she actually started a YouTube channel herself. For a long time now, she's been trying to find a type of content she could actually do on YouTube, and she's the smart one of us. So she spends a lot of time doing a lot of brain work to try and figure out things, where I'm more of a work harder, not smarter type guy. Which is something I'm trying to get better at. She definitely works much smarter than I do. And she's been investigating the market to just kind of see what type of stuff people want to see on YouTube. And with this new age of people watching gameplays and watching, you know, react videos and that type of thing on YouTube, because it's something that people put on in the background constantly, just to kind of create some environment when they're sitting in their home and they, you know, they're doing something, but they also want something to happen in the background on the TV or something. She started doing a thing where she is watching videos, like not just videos on YouTube, but actual movies. And then she's sitting there reacting to it and actually giving some interesting lore or like behind the scenes kind of things when she's watching the video. You know, what does the book say compared to the movies type thing. So people can watch the movie on the side while watching her video at the same time. And then in real time, she'll actually be giving info about the movie they're watching. So she's trying something new that you haven't actually seen before on YouTube. And I just think it's really cool that she can come up with like new ideas like that. So if you want to check her out, I'll leave her channel in the description too, so you can jump in, maybe subscribe, ring the notification bell. I know it would make her very happy to have some followers, because with anything that is completely new and unseen before, there isn't going to be anyone searching for it on YouTube. So it's very hard to find her content unless you know what you're searching for, because like I said, it's new content. So just kind of like to kickstart her channel, it would be nice to have people just kind of supporting her and seeing what it is, and you know, just telling her if she's doing a good job or not. I don't like your content, people will be saying. But no, really, she's a really charming person, and she's just really interesting to listen to. At least I think so. I don't think I'm being biased here because she's my wife. I actually think she has one of those YouTube personalities that people could actually like love watching because of her personality. So check her out. Link is in the description. And with that said, I don't have any more announcements to make. Oh, yep. Actually, hold on. I did actually remodel my office. I don't know if you can tell. I've been changing the office a little bit because it was kind of like, it looked like a camper before I started doing anything with it. So I put in some carpet, I put in some different decorations, some more lighting, you know, just to kind of like make it look like a YouTube office and not just a camper. Because this thing that you've been seeing in the background here, the foam screen, is all you've been seeing on my videos because everything else looked ugly. So I've been changing things. Everything is white now and things have been changed. So you can actually start watching from a wider point of view without it looking like, you know, like a complete camper with like brown coloring and stuff like that. So I hope this is something you enjoy. I will be using this as a different camera angle in the future, and just kind of like love how everything turned out. Praising my own work here. So yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this little announcement and will continue to watch my videos, because like I said, I'm trying to do this new direction with the channel where I teach all sorts of things rather than just web dev things. And I know people are subscribing for web dev things mostly, but I hope that there's support for the other things as well. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.